Danny played last week in Chippewa, and the announcer was annoying. My daughter's like, the guy that does Danny's games for Fury is way better. Just so you know.
All right, thank you. That's a good one. Second state playoff game for Fury against the Chicago Phantoms. It's been a while since we played the Phantoms. We're going to start off with the Kushkowski, Bergeron, Pulauskas line, Rubicki, Campbell at D, and Dabrowski in net. Phantoms win the faceoff, but then turn it over. Kushkowski takes a hit in front. Bergeron gets that puck back to Rubicki. Rubicki for Campbell. Misses a little wide. Pass in front. Good stick by Kushkowski. Puck up to Pulauskas. Pulauskas chips it forward. Bergeron going after the puck in the corner. Puck comes around and off of the boards. Kushkowski gets a hit on puck, makes its way to Rubicki. Rubicki sends it to Kushkowski. Kushkowski backdoor pass for Pulauskas. Just gets past him. Phantoms dump and change. Dabrowski plays it to the corner. Campbell across for Rubicki. Rubicki finds Kushkowski, but it goes past him, and that'll be an icing. 16-11 in the first. We'll get a line change. Onak and Miller at D. Brown, Reynolds, Kruger come out for Fury. Face off one back by Phantoms. Phantoms take it off the board. Reynolds knocks it away. Kruger taps that over to Brown. Brown gets across the center line and dumps the puck in. Gets past Phantoms and puck gets underneath. Brown digs the puck out. Gets it down low and over for Kruger. Kruger lost sight of it, but Phantoms ice that puck and it'll come back down. 15:42 remaining. We're going to keep the same personnel. Kruger a little tied up with the net on the last one. Reynolds played it safe and let Phantoms take it out, and smartly so, as Phantoms wind up icing the puck. Kruger wins that faceoff back to Miller. Miller across to Onak. Onak's shot is blocked. Puck goes to the corner. Kruger comes over and pins it. Reynolds over to help. Puck makes its way up the sideboard. Brown comes over. Puck knocked away in the middle. Phantoms carry in, knocked over to the sideboard by Miller, and then up the boards. Reynolds has space. He's going to take it himself. Brown goes for a change. Reynolds makes a move, dumps the puck down low. Kruger goes down. Puck comes up the sideboard. Reynolds rubs his man off. Carter sends the puck to Prisgintis. Campbell and Prisgintis on the ice for D. Reynolds changes, and Paulo comes on. Puck bounces off of Kruger's stick over to the Phantoms. Phantoms clear. Carter picks it up in neutral ice, gets tied up. Puck to Campbell. Campbell sends it up the boards. Phantoms step in front. Send that puck down for Prisgintis. Prisgintis up for Paulo. Paulo taps it to neutral ice. Chilicki comes on. Phantoms dump back in. Dabrowski plays it. Sends it up and out. And there'll be a face-off to Dabrowski's glove side. 14:36 to go in the first, still 0-0. Paulo wins that faceoff back to Campbell. Campbell tries to chip forward, kept in by Phantoms and then pinned. Prisgintis knocks the puck up the boards to Chilicki. Chilicki sends it back down low. Campbell picks it up behind Dabrowski. Campbell makes a move, gives himself some space. Paulo has a lane, carries forward, drops to Chilicki. Chilicki's pass back to Paulo, intercepted by the Phantoms. Phantoms come back across. Phantoms are offsides. Rubicki picks up the puck. Rubicki makes a move and gets in. Dumps the puck down low. Paulo, in a board battle, knocks the puck to the corner. Letcher's on the ice. Puck to Onak. Onak tries to clear it. It hits Phantoms player. Paulo passes up for Letcher. Hits off of Letcher's skate. Chilicki keeps that back in. Phantoms try to knock it out. Gets the puck back up to Rubicki. Rubicki back to Chilicki. Chilicki takes a ride in the boards, and Phantoms clear. Rubicki knocks the puck back. Onak going to get it. Drops it back to Rubicki. Rubicki moves forward. Predidio is on. Letcher takes a hit. Nietzsche is on. puck over to the side, and then stretch pass. Letcher gets in the way of that pass, and the puck goes down low again. Nietzsche keeps it in, gives it to Letcher. Letcher gets pinned in the corner. Phantom send it over to the near board. Coming up through the neutral ice, push to the side, drop pass, and a shot on Dabrowski. Save over to Credidio. Credidio to Brzgintis. Brzgintis makes a move and carries in. Shot into the stomach of the goaltender. No rebound, but we'll get an in-zone faceoff. Kushkowski, Pulauskas, Bergeron back on the ice. Miller and Brzgintis at D. Face-off, one to the corner by the Phantoms. They go behind their own goaltender. Bergeron comes over and gives some pressure. Phantoms carry forward. Puck loose into neutral ice, knocked back to Brzgintis. Brzgintis goes cross ice for Miller. Miller chips ahead for Bergeron. Bergeron gets to Brzgintis. Brzgintis brings the puck in. Gets knocked on the boards. Bergeron tries to send that back deep. He knocks it a couple of times. Pulauskas takes a hit. That'll be interference. And we'll go on our first power play. So with 12:13 to go in the first, Phantoms 2 minutes for interference. Letcher, Brzgintis, Nietzsche, Reynolds, Onak on the ice. Face off one back to Brzgintis. Brzgintis to Onak. Onak, backdoor for Letcher. Letcher to Nietzsche. Nietzsche shot wide. Bounces over to the corner. Letcher gives it to Reynolds. Reynolds takes a look from behind the goaltender. Shot from Nietzsche. Brzgintis' shot goes off of the butt end of the stick. Brzgintis to Onak. Puck bounces in front. Phantoms get a hold of it. Brzgintis is going to get a hook. Shot into Dabrowski. And we're going to go 4-on-4. So with a minute 13 remaining on our power play, we're going to get 2 minutes Brzgintis for hooking. And we'll go 4-on-4. Paulo and Chalicki come out with Campbell and Rybicki. 11:26 to go in the first, still 0-0. We'll be 4-on-4 for a minute 13, and then Phantoms will have the power play. Face off one over to Campbell. Campbell dumps it back for Rybicki into the corner. Rybicki takes a hit, puck over to Paulo. Paulo to Campbell. Paulo's offside. Quick stop, but he just couldn't keep the foot down. And we'll get a face-off here in the neutral zone. Face off one over to Chalicki. Rybicki picks it up and gives it to Campbell. Campbell to Rybicki. Back up to Campbell. Campbell takes it in deep. Little punch turn and a drop down for Paulo behind the net. Paulo gets pinned. Turnover. Chalicki takes a hit and the puck stays in. Phantoms dump that down to Rybicki. Rybicki sends it up to Paulo. Paulo from behind Dabrowski. Drop pass to Rybicki. 16 seconds to go on 4-on-4. Nietzsche comes out. Chalicki goes for a change. Puck to Nietzsche. Letcher on. Onak and Miller come on. .45 seconds for a power play for the Phantoms. Fury wasting time. Puck goes into the corner after it goes on net. Phantoms set up behind their goaltender, 31 seconds to go. Puck over to the sideboard. Nietzsche does a nice job of pushing him and requires Phantoms to regroup. Kushkowski comes on the ice. Letcher trying to battle through. Phantoms not able to get the puck and set up a power play. 11 seconds to go. Puck on the sideboard. Letcher pinning. Up to the D. Shot blocked by Letcher. 2 seconds. Miller chips the puck to the corner. Credidio comes out. We're all even. 9:19 to go in the first. Still 0-0. Letcher battling. Puck over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski carries forward. Drops for Letcher. Letcher with the lane. Shot high off of the glass into the corner. Kushkowski comes over to get it. Brzgintis on the ice. Brzgintis sends that down for Credidio. Campbell at the other side D. Letcher knocks that puck off of the boards. Credidio picks it up, but then it gets knocked back into the corner. Clear attempt by Phantoms. Kept in by Campbell. Letcher changes. Bergeron comes on. Couple of moves by the Phantoms. They carry in their offsides. Tried to throw a pick, but got knocked off sides. 8:40 to go in the first. Face-off controlled by Fury. Brzgintis chips that forward. Phantoms send it back in. Dabrowski plays it over to Brzgintis. Brzgintis up to Kushkowski. Kushkowski had to get his hands up to avoid a hit. Phantoms dump it back in. Campbell to Pulauskas. Kushkowski back to Pulauskas. Backhand shot off of the goaltender's helmet. Pulauskas picks it up. Onak sends it in front. Bergeron puts a quick chip shot on, hits off of the pad. Pulauskas harassing. Reynolds comes on, keeps that puck in. Phantoms clear. Dabrowski comes up to play it and sends it up for Reynolds. Brown and Kruger come on. Phantoms are offsides. $7:42 to go in the first, still 0-0. Brown, Reynolds, Kruger, Onak, and Miller. Face off, pushed forward. It drops into Kruger. Kruger puts it over to the board, trying to knock it down. Phantoms send it in. Dabrowski plays it. Miller avoids some contact. Puck goes up to Onak. Onak to Brown. Brown across. Tips off of Phantoms player. Miller sends that to Brown. Brown to Kruger. Rybicki's come on the ice. Brown over to Rybicki. Rybicki to Miller. Miller back to Rybicki. Over to Brown. Brown to Kruger. Kruger enters. Shot goes wide. Kruger, another attempt, hits off of the goaltender or the side of net. Puck in front. Brown is hooked. Kruger took a slash. Campbell knocks the man off the puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds to Rybicki. Rybicki sends it for Campbell. Campbell finds Brown. Brown's got space. Tries to go for a shot. Didn't quite get anything on it. Puck over to the sideboard. Phantoms player falls over, takes Campbell with him. Puck is cleared. Everybody trying to change. Puck a little messy. Puck dumped in. Paulo picks it up. Paulo, Carter, and Chalicki have come on the ice. Campbell trying to work the puck out. Does. Paulo passes to Chalicki, whose touch pass back to Paulo a little too far. Paulo regroups. 5:50 to go, still 0-0. Campbell looking to pass to Carter. Deflected by Phantoms. Phantoms regroup in their own zone. Jalicki giving some pressure, puck in the middle, or another pick, knocks Paulo over. Campbell pins, puck comes free to Prisgintis. Prisgintis, with some space, puts the puck in the zone. Carter is there. Puck knocked over to the Phantoms. Prisgintis picks it up off of the boards. Phantoms wind up icing. 5:12 to go. Still 0-0. We'll get a line change. Letcher and Credidio come out to join Nietzsche. Onak and Miller at D. Face off, drop down. Both centers have a little bit of trouble getting to it. Letcher picks it up off of the boards. He's pinned. Credidio is getting pinned. Letcher's not moving, and Phantoms aren't interested in giving space either, so we'll get a face-off. Phantoms go early. Center gets kicked out. Different face-off play for Fury. Nietzsche comes in. Phantoms clear. Credidio comes over, knocks the puck down low. Phantoms move it up off the corner to the sideboard, and then a shot on Dabrowski, no rebound. Kushkowski, Polauskas, Bergeron come on the ice. 4:22 to go in the first, still 0-0. Phantoms with the face-off win, get a shot that goes wide. Looked like it was deflected. Up to the backboard now, Onak over to Miller. Miller back to Onak. Onak from behind Dabrowski takes a look and surveys up front. Got Bergeron, but two guys in front. Phantoms knock it back in. Onak over to Polauskas. Polauskas chips ahead for Kushkowski. Kushkowski tried to chip off the boards, but it hit a Phantoms player. Puck does come out. Kushkowski's got a one-on-one. Quick shot off of the blocker and out of play. Good job by Kushkowski to use the defensive player as a screen. The goaltender saw it and blocked it out of play. Campbell and Rybicki on the ice at D. Bergeron, Kushkowski, Polauskas still out to take this face-off. Kushkowski with the left-handed stick has Polauskas offset for a quick shot if he wins it back. 3:49 to go in the first period. Face-off one to the corner by the Phantoms. Phantoms go behind their own goaltender. Bergeron giving some pressure over to the near board and then up to the neutral ice. Campbell sends it in on net and played to the side by the goaltender. Phantoms try to split. That's going to miss, and that'll be icing. Reynolds, Brown, and Kruger come on the ice. Same D personnel. Kruger to take the face-off. Brown offset. Kruger wins it forward. The goaltender dives on it before Kruger could get a shot at it. little bit of trickery from Fury showing a back win, and Kruger puts it forward. Kruger wins it back to Rybicki. Rybicki's shot goes in front, rebounded, knocked away by the Phantoms, and then puck across. Reynolds comes over. Brown knocks it to the sideboard, and then back to Rybicki. Rybicki to Campbell. Campbell up for Reynolds. Reynolds chips it on. Puck dug out over to the sideboard. Brown comes over, chips it ahead for Rybicki. Rybicki keeps it in. Puck over to the opposite corner. Brown coming to get it. Brown digs it out. Gets knocked away. Dabrowski comes out to play that and decides to glove it down. 2:44 to go in the first period. Chalicki, Carter, and Paulo on the ice with Prisgintis and Miller. Carter gets that puck over to Chalicki. Chalicki goes up for Paulo, but knocked away by the Phantoms. Carter to Prisgintis. Prisgintis off of the near board up to Paulo. Paulo gets it knocked away, but Carter's there to pick it up. Carter gets taken down. Paulo in the corner. Pass over. Nietzsche comes on as the sixth man, and then Phantoms touch up. With 2:17 to go in the first. We're going to go to the power play. Pulauskas, Paulo, Chalicki, Kushkowski, and Campbell. Chalicki gets taken down. Puck goes up to Campbell. Campbell and Chalicki trying to keep it in. Campbell digs it out, gets it to Paulo. Paulo to Kushkowski, taken away by Pulauskas. Pulauskas' shot is blocked, goes over to the corner. Phantoms send it out of play with 1:55 to go in the first and 1:39 remaining in the power play. Face-off controlled by Phantoms. They send it up to Kushkowski. Kush to Campbell. Campbell to Chalicki. Chalicki to Pulauskas. Pulauskas back up to Campbell. Campbell tries to send it back down. Fury lose control, and the Phantoms send it out. Dabrowski puts it back behind for Campbell. Campbell to Kushkowski up the far board. Enters the zone, goes for a shot, doesn't quite get anything on it, but picks it up, gets it back to Campbell. Campbell to Chalicki. Chalicki across for Kushkowski. Kushkowski to Campbell. Back to Kushkowski. Kushkowski chips it down for Pulauskas. Stick lifted, and the puck goes over to Chalicki. Chalicki from the corner. Goes behind, and then sends the puck up for Kushkowski. Quick shot from Kushkowski. And no rebound in front. 40 seconds to go in the power play. 56.9 seconds in the period. We're going to send out Reynolds, Onak, Prisgintis, Nietzsche, and Letcher. Letcher gets the puck to Prisgintis in the middle for Nietzsche. Nietzsche gets it knocked away. Onak gets a shot on. A slow roller. And the goaltender was out of position, but he gets back just in time to cover that puck. 27 seconds to go on the power play. Reynolds to take the draw. One back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis looking for a lane, sends it back down for Reynolds. Reynolds trying to pass that to Nietzsche, cleared by the Phantoms. Brzgintis goes back to get it, 30 seconds to go. 11 seconds on the power play. One last rush. Here comes Letcher. Letcher drops it to Brzgintis. Brzgintis carries forward. 3 seconds to go. Nietzsche looking for a lane to Letcher. Onak in front. Puck under some feet. And that'll get cleared. 7.8 seconds to go in the first. Got enough time for one possession in the zone. Koshkowski, Bergeron, and Pulauskas on the ice. Phantoms clear it. Pulauskas picks up. And that'll be the end of the first period. Not sure what happened there. Rubicki took a hit. Phantoms took a shot at Pulauskas for taking a shot as the buzzer sounded. A warning. Not sure. A little bit of conversation here. All right, so we're going to start the second period on the power play. There's a penalty for the hit after the whistle.
Yeah, no. Are we in the box after?
So we'll go back on the power play to start. Not sure who the offender is. So 42 from Phantoms will go in the box. And we'll send out our power play. -minute period. We start with a fresh 17 minutes and 2-minute power play. Letcher, Nietzsche, Reynolds, Brzgintis, and Onak on the ice. Brzgintis to Reynolds. Reynolds to Onak. Onak on the sideboard. Sends it down for Nietzsche. Nietzsche kicks it to Reynolds. Reynolds gets it knocked away, and the Phantoms cover. Same personnel. Reynolds wins that back to Brzgintis. Brzgintis to Onak. Bounces off of his stick over to Reynolds. Reynolds from behind the net. Looking for a lane. Gets the puck to Letcher. Letcher back to Reynolds, over to Letcher. Cross for Brzgintis. Brzgintis in front. No rebound again. Same personnel, minute 27 to go on the power play. Face off one back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis walks the line, sends it back over to Onak. Onak to Reynolds. Reynolds puts it in front, over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche to Letcher. Letcher for Reynolds. Back to Letcher. Back to Reynolds. Reynolds takes a shove. Puck kept on the sideboard by Letcher. Letcher moves it to Prisgintis. Back to Letcher. Letcher couldn't quite get enough on. Phantoms stumble a little bit and lose the puck. Prisgintis picks it back up. 49 seconds to go on the power play. Prisgintis takes a big hit from Iwinski. Puck underneath a Phantoms player. He knocks it into neutral ice. Nietzsche picks it up. Onak changes. Chalicki comes on. Reynolds to Chalicki. Prisgintis changes. Campbell comes on. Phantoms clear. Dabrowski goes to pick it up. Paulo comes on the ice. And Palauskas. Paulo. Carrying forward. Loses the handle in neutral ice. Phantoms pick it up. And then clear past Chalicki. 5, 3, and that'll be the end of the power play. Kushkowski's on the ice. Palauskas trying to dig it out. Gets tied up in front. And Phantoms clear. Campbell to Paulo. Paulo makes one guy miss, carries forward. Shot blocked. Knocked over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski to Campbell. Campbell shot. Rebound right to Palauskas, and he misses the net. It looked like wide. Phantoms knock the puck back to Campbell, over to Rubicki. Palauskas carries forward, drops to Kushkowski, and a shot, no rebound. 14:04 to go, still 0-0. Reynolds, Brown, Kruger on the ice. Onak and Miller at D. Kruger to take the face-off, Reynolds offset behind him. Face-off, pushed to the corner, kept in by Onak. Reynolds comes over to help. It's underneath Onak. Reynolds picks it up and then sends it forward. Knocked away by the goaltender into the corner. Phantoms send it up the boards. Across. Brown knocks it away. Miller, good stick. Puck comes over to the sideboard. Kicked in by the Phantoms. Reynolds gets hooked. Sends the puck to the middle of the ice. Phantoms have to regroup. Kruger pressuring. Phantoms turn it over to Reynolds on the sideboard. Reynolds sends it back in. Phantoms pick it back up, come down the ice. Knocked away by Miller over to the corner. Centering pass, deflected by Onak, back to Miller. Miller gets past one. Miller and Reynolds come in. Miller still has it, backhand shot. Puck goes behind the goaltender, he didn't know where it was. Puck off of the glass, hits Miller's skate. Phantoms send it in. They need to go for a change. Prisgintis comes from behind Dabrowski up to Miller. Miller. He's too fast. He gets past a couple of Phantoms and sends it around for Kruger. Kruger in the corner. Still working. Brown comes over to help. Brown pins. Kruger gets up. Puck knocked over to the sideboard. Paulo is on. Puck hits off of Paulo, goes behind Dabrowski. Prisgintis leaves it for Campbell. Campbell sends it to Brown. Brown tries to send it for Kruger. Kruger changes. Puck knocked back to Prisgintis. Brown changes. Chalicki comes on. Carter comes on. Chalicki knocks that to Carter. Carter gets hooked. Blatant hook. Nobody called that. Paulo Quick move, avoids contact. Puck gets knocked up to Rybicki. Rybicki and Campbell at D. Carter and Chalicki to the corner. Chalicki takes a hit. Puck gets knocked to Rybicki. Rybicki puts it back down for Carter. Carter chips it to Chalicki. Chalicki to Carter. Carter to Nietzsche. Nietzsche's shot is blocked. Oh, we did call. So he did call the penalty. Phantoms coach is irritated about the call. 2 minutes for roughing. I think that was on the hit for either. I can't remember if it was Chalicki or Carter that they hit. So 11:31 to go, still 0-0. Fury back on the power play. Nietzsche, Letcher, Reynolds, Onak, and Prisgintis on the ice. Phantoms clear. Send it down on Dabrowski. Letcher picks it up from Prisgintis. Drops it for Prisgintis. Prisgintis carries in. Prisgintis down low, takes a look, gets it to Letcher. Letcher back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis up the boards. Down low for Reynolds, back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis and Letcher switch spots. Rebound in front. Gloved back after the bounce. Minute 23 to go. On the power play, 10:53 in the period. Face off one to Onak. Onak to Prisgintis. Prisgintis has a line. Starting to get more rebounds now. Puck dropped in front. Goaltender covers, and we'll get another face-off. Reynolds wins that back to Prisgintis. Prisgintis across to Letcher. Letcher with a lane. Goes back door for Onak. Onak got tied up, but he gets a stick on it. Puck gets sent up to Prisgintis. Prisgintis puts it in front. Rebound again. Puck gets knocked over to Reynolds. Reynolds shot. Pushed over by Prisgintis to Onak. Onak back down low for Reynolds. 48 seconds to go. Reynolds to Prisgintis. Prisgintis. Shot gets blocked over to Onak. Onak circles. Another shot with a rebound. Puck's still loose. Phantoms carry forward. Prisgintis pushes to the side. Knocks the puck away. Phantoms come in and hit our goaltender. Reynolds carries forward. Prisgintis changes. Campbell comes on. Chalicki is on. Reynolds with the shot and the goal. 11 seconds to go on the power play and 9:41 in the period. And Reynolds gets the first goal of the game. Paulo, Chalicki, Carter on the ice. Paulo sends that around. Carter's on the board. Carter to Chalicki. Back to Carter, intercepted by the Phantoms. They knock it to neutral ice, and then away from Campbell. Paulo, good back check, pins it on the boards. Knocked away by Carter. Carter across for Campbell, up to Chalicki. Chalicki sends the puck around, bounce off of the boards into the middle of the ice. Rybicki knocks it free. Phantoms regroup. Chalicki giving some pressure, forcing a D to D, and then cross ice for Phantoms, which gets away. Phantoms are offsides. Rubicki to Paulo. Paulo over to Carter. Paulo changes, Kushkowski comes on. Puck through the neutral zone. Drop pass over to the side. Rubicki comes over. Collision. Rubicki looks like got the worst of it. Carter sends it in. Bergeron comes on. Kolauskas comes on. We got a D change as well. Miller and Onak. 3-on-2. Good stick by Miller. Puck comes out. Miller chips it forward. Phantoms try to get it on again. Dabrowski plays it up to Polauskas. Bounces past Polauskas. Phantoms back up the glass. Puck rolling. Man, does this ice need to be cleaned? We got snow piles everywhere. Bergeron to Kushkowski. Oh, got deflected. It goes on net and covered. 7:37 to go in the second. Reynolds, Brown, Kruger on the ice. Campbell, Prisgintis at D. Phantoms win the faceoff and send it around. Puck on the sideboard. Kruger comes over. Phantoms escape. Send it to the sideboard and then up. Prisgintis steps in front of that. Carries forward. Knocked away. Puck pushed to the sideboard. Phantoms with the lane. Into Dabrowski. No rebound. Onak and Rubicki come out at D. 7:13 to go in the second. We're going to keep the same forward line. Reynolds to take the faceoff. Faceoff one on Dabrowski. Knocked down. Picked up by Reynolds. I think Dabrowski is going to get a penalty. So Brown's going to serve the penalty for the goaltender. I don't know if it's a cross check or what. Slash. All right. So with 7:07 to go, we got a 2-minute penalty on Dabrowski for slashing. Brown to serve. Nietzsche, Letcher, Rubicki, and Onak out for the kill. Letcher sends that back to Rubicki. Rubicki to Onak. Onak sends it up the ice. Picked up by the Phantoms. They reset up. Nietzsche giving some pressure over to the sideboard and brought in. Phantoms are offsides. We're going to change Reynolds and Paulo on the ice. Minute 33 to go in the kill. Phantoms win that back. Reynolds forcing a cross-ice pass. Onak picks it up and then sends it into Phantom zone. Reynolds taps it away. Phantoms knock over Reynolds and take the puck. Drop pass by Phantoms trying to carry forward. They have a lot of picks up in front. Puck knocked to the sideboard. Phantoms carry it back down. Rubicki working against the puck holder. Blocked in front by Hollow. Backdoor pass. Misses. Reynolds working. Lifts a stick and takes the puck away. Reynolds one-on-one. Decides to hold the puck and pin it. Krzyzkowski comes on with the change. Miller and Prisgintis at D. 35 seconds to go on the kill. Phantoms dig it out. Bergeron comes on the ice. Prisgintis knocks that away over to Krzyzkowski. Krzyzkowski sends it to the corner. 24 seconds to go. Puck to the sideboard, then back to the middle. Phantoms working against Bergeron, dump it in. Dabrowski plays it off of the glass and it bounces past. Bergeron has one man to beat. Bergeron's taken down. That's a penalty. Penalties expired. Pulauskas was streaking. The goaltender interfered with Pulauskas. No call on that. Puck carried in. Phantom's shot blocked by Dabrowski over to the side. Puck sent to the opposite corner. Campbell pins. Krzyzkowski works to dig it out. 4:42 to go. Pulauskas coming through. Bergeron changes. Brown comes on. Rubicki comes on for Miller. We got a cherry picker and icing. So there was one cherry picker waiting on the blue line. And the puck went too far and it was icing. So we get a line change. Kruger, Reynolds, Brown, Rubicki, and Campbell. 4:21 to go in the second period. Fury up 1-0. Puck dug out by Reynolds. Backhand shot goes wide. Puck over to Kruger. Kruger gets tied up and Phantoms carry forward. Brown deflects that puck to the back over for Rubicki. Rubicki to the corner for Kruger. Kruger to Brown. Brown to Campbell. Campbell drops for Kruger. Kruger shot gets gets not interfered but tipped, and then it goes in front for Campbell and Reynolds, but then knocked away. Brown sends that puck across for Reynolds. Reynolds knocks it away to Brown. Brown to Reynolds. Reynolds carries forward, and he doesn't have anybody with him, so he sends it in. Puck over to the corner. Miller sends that across, and it goes for an icing. Nietzsche, Credidio, and Letcher come on the ice. 3:18. Oh, no, we're going to do a different line. Paulo, Carter, Chalicki step on the ice. Onak and Miller at D. Paulo to take the face-off. Phantom send it to try to send it away, but it's where our play is. Puck doesn't quite get out. Phantoms get a shot. It goes wide. Chalicki on the sideboard. Phantoms send it back in. Dabrowski leaves it for Onak. Onak to Paulo to Chalicki. Bounces off of Chalicki's stick, but he picks it up off of the feet of Phantoms. Carter sends it down to Chalicki. Chalicki around for Onak. Onak's shot gets deflected. Carter gets a backhand shot that goes wide. Puck bounces off of the boards, and that'll be icing. 2:34 to go in the second. Nietzsche, Credidio, Letcher come on for an in-zone face-off. Prisgintis and Campbell at D. Face-off one over to Credidio. Credidio tries a wraparound, gets knocked away, but up the boards to Nietzsche. Nietzsche pins, waiting for help. Credidio gets a hit, puck over to Campbell. Campbell to Letcher, knocked away from Letcher. Two players' face masks get tied up. And those two kids know each other. A little bit of a chuckle, and we'll get a face-off. Puck sent around. Dabrowski sends it up. Bounces away from Campbell and then sent up to Phantoms. Phantoms get a shot, but it's blocked in front. Puck into the neutral zone. Phantoms send it back in. Minute 50 to go in the period. Campbell wins the battle, sends it up for Letcher. Knocked away off of the boards. Letcher tries to send it forward for Nietzsche. Nietzsche gets hit. I mean, like, just grabbed in the face and no call. Nietzsche with a hit. Knocks the puck loose over to Campbell. Campbell to Rybicki. Puck misses. No icing. We get a change. Bergeron, Polauskas, Kushkowski come on. Puck over to Rybicki. Rybicki to Polauskas. Polauskas takes a hit. Polauskas' strap comes off. He's got to be sent off. Kruger comes on. Minute 5 to go. Kruger, Kushkowski, Bergeron. Berge does a nice job protecting that puck. Kruger picks it up, sends it down low. Bergeron tries to pin. Phantoms pick it up and then try to carry it through. Kush waits for Berge, gets a shot, it's blocked. Berge's shot is blocked, hits over to the sideboard. Kushkowski working the near board, takes it off. Toe drag shot, rebound, knocked over to Rybicki. 35 seconds to go. Rybicki keeps that puck in. Taken away. 25 seconds to go. One against Onak. Onak knocks it away. Puck over to the corner and then knocked in front. There's a mess. Everybody gets taken down. Net's all askew. Phantom's trying anyway to get a goal right now. They all collide on top of the crease. We got a player down. .9 seconds. We're going to send Brown, Paulo, and Reynolds out. That looks like a leg. With everybody falling on, it probably does hurt a bit. All right. So he's up, goes to the bench. Oh, gonna go back to the locker room. Get it looked at. Face off comes outside. Reynolds takes the draw, wins it back to Porzingis. Porzingis to Miller to Paulo. Paulo chips ahead. Paulo gets a hit. Puck comes right to Reynolds. It goes wide over to Porzingis. Porzingis puts it in front. Knocked to the back and cleared. And we'll go to the ice cut with a 1-0 lead. After 1-0 Fury on a Reynolds goal. All right, give us about 10 minutes for the Zamboni, and we'll be back. Start of the third period, we're going to send out Kushkowski, Bergeron, Kolauskas with Campbell and Rubicki. Dabrowski still in net. Fury holding on to the 1-0 lead. Kushkowski to take the faceoff. Kushkowski wins that back to Rubicki. Rubicki to Campbell. Campbell for Kushkowski over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas quick shot blocked into the corner. Pulauskas sends it up to Rubicki. Rubicki puts it in front. It's still loose. Pulauskas gets taken down. Puck up the sideboard. Cleared by Phantoms. Bergeron rubs out a guy and the puck gets sent back in. Onak comes on the ice. Miller comes on the ice. Cross ice pass, stretch pass for Phantoms. Miller forces them around. Phantoms lose an edge. Miller picks up the puck, streaking down, cuts through, puck in front. Miller gets run into the net. That looked like it hurt. Miller slow to get up. Miller taps the puck in front, gets pushed into the net. He gets up. He's all right. Puck's going to come outside, I think. Oh, maybe not. All right. So we get to keep it in. Reynolds, Brown, Kruger on the ice. Puck gets knocked back to Onak. Onak sends it to the sideboard. Brown keeps that in, and then Onak picks it up. Onak shot in front, still loose. Kruger is tied up, giving the goaltender time to cover. Reynolds comes in to take the draw. Miller and Onak switch places. Puck went to the corner. Phantom send it up to Miller. Kruger chasing. Phantoms try to clear. Onak puts it on net. Knocked into the corner. Kruger forcing a puck up to the sideboard. Brown gets in the way. Phantoms clear. Reynolds knocks the puck. Phantoms send it to the backboard. Onak battling. Loose puck around in front. Another shot sends it wide. Onak carries forward to Brown. Brown to Reynolds. Kruger is just pushed down. And they're going to say offsides. I don't know how that's not interference. Chalicki, Paulo, Carter come on the ice with Campbell and Prisgintis. 15-16 to go in the first, still 1-0 Fury. Phantoms win that faceoff back and then up the sideboard, touch pass and carried forward. Campbell knocks Phantoms off of the puck. Paulo to Prisgintis. Prisgintis has a lot of space. Sends it to Chalicki. It misses Chalicki's stick, and that'll be icing. 14:58 to go in the third. Same personnel. Paulo to take the face-off. Puts it over to Przgintis. Przgintis to Chalicki. Chalicki up for Carter. Carter with Paulo. Paulo tries to pass back to Carter. Over on the board, up to Chalicki across for Campbell. Campbell loses his footing, has to send it forward. Paulo gets to it first and tries to chip ahead. Carter is going to get a penalty. Rybicki touches up. Carter's going to go for roughing. So the much larger Carter knocks over the smaller player, and he's going to sit for 2. So we'll go on the kill. Phantoms will bring forward. They're going to give Carter a 2 and 10. Brown to serve the 2. I don't know about that, but we'll go forward. I'm guessing they called boarding. It looked like a bigger guy hit a smaller guy. Phantoms control. They go over to the near board and then back up to the point. Cross over the far board. Shot in front off of the pad of Dabrowski and then cleared. Nietzsche coming hard. Phantoms go behind their goaltender. Nietzsche loses an edge. Racing back to come in. Onak tries to knock it away. Onak gets in the passing lane. Puck is loose. Nietzsche sends it forward. Puck goes on net. Goaltender decides to hold it and drops it back for their player behind their net. Letcher on the ice. Reynolds on the ice. Puck knocked away by Miller and Reynolds. Rybicki sends that puck to Reynolds. Reynolds takes a hit in the jaw. Letcher blocks the shot and then knocks the puck away. Reynolds has a step. Reynolds still battling. Good back check. Puck gets knocked away. Phantoms off of the sideboard. Paulo is on. Reynolds changes. Kuszkowski comes on. 13:02, 35 seconds to go. Fury clear. Kuszkowski to go forward for pressure. Miller, Przgintis on the ice. 24 seconds to go. Miller knocks it away over on the far board. Phantoms regroup. Paulo comes up to challenge. Hits off of a skate. Kuszkowski comes up. Phantoms carry in. Puck blocked away by Kuszkowski and then sent out of play by Paulo. Bergeron, Kuszkowski, Rybicki, and Campbell on the ice. 4 seconds to go on the kill. They're going to spring Pulauskas. 12:30 to go in the game. Face-off. Shot by Phantoms. Rybicki sends it up the boards. Pulauskas comes on the ice. Kuszkowski blocks that shot, carries forward over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas dropped to Bergeron. Bergeron didn't quite get enough on the shot, but keeps the puck in to Pulauskas. Back up to Rybicki. Rybicki walks in. Shot goes wide over to the near board. Pulauskas coming hard. Puck gets knocked into neutral ice and then sent down by the Phantoms. Campbell and Kuszkowski working in the corner. Puck up to the D. Puck gets underneath Bergeron, but then wide. Rybicki gets tied up. Puck into neutral ice. Bergeron, good job tying it up. Nobody knows where the puck is. Pulauskas gets it to Kuszkowski. Kuszkowski one-on-one. Shot sails high off of the glass. Kruger's on. Kruger keeps the puck in and sends it down low. Pulauskas goes for a change. Kuszkowski, good stick. Knocked over to Kruger. Chalicki on the ice. Chalicki gets the puck knocked away. Fury are going to get a penalty. 11:15 to go. and slashing. Let's see, slashing on Kruger. So Kruger will sit for 2 with 11:15 to go. Phantoms on the power play. Paulo, Reynolds, Miller, and Onak on the ice. Shot goes wide of Dabrowski over to the near board. Reynolds has a hold of it. He's got Paulo with him. Paulo and Reynolds enter. Puck gets knocked to the corner, and Paulo retreats. Reynolds and Paulo in neutral ice, forcing a direction. Puck played around and up the boards. Shot in front, blocked by Paulo. Paulo clears. Reynolds changes. Letcher and Nietzsche come on. Nietzsche knocks that puck to Letcher. Letcher to Przgintis over to Campbell. Campbell to Letcher. Letcher to Przgintis. Przgintis to Campbell. Campbell sends it around. 1:06 to go. Letcher digs it off. Takes a knee. Puck put down low. Przgintis sends it to Campbell in the corner, picked up by Phantoms. Phantoms pass misses and cleared. Letcher and Nietzsche trying to work the middle of the ice. Puck gets knocked down over to Rybicki. Onak over to help. Taken away. Stuff attempt. Knocked aside by Letcher and then cleared. Nietzsche coming out to handle the puck. Tries to knock it down. Letcher following. Letcher going behind. 14 seconds to go. Fury send it back to neutral ice for Rybicki. Back to Nietzsche. Nietzsche sends it down. That should do it. 3 seconds. Kruger comes out. Pulauskas comes on the ice. Pulauskas picks it up. Knocked back to the corner. Letcher working. Pulauskas over to help. Puck knocked free. Neutral ice. Rybicki picks it up, sends it back around. Bergeron comes on the ice. Loose puck, neutral ice. Bergeron kept it in, pass to Pulauskas, shot knocked down by the goaltender and then sent over to the sideboard. Miller keeps it in. Miller sends it down for Kushkowski. Kushkowski to Pulauskas, back up to Miller. Miller puts one down low. Kushkowski sends it up for Przgintis. Przgintis, good stick, knocks that away. Miller gets tripped, no call. Kushkowski to Przgintis, sends it in. Pulauskas was knocked off sides. Kruger comes on the ice. Reynolds comes on the ice. Campbell and Rybicki at D. Kruger knocks that puck away. Puck goes behind. Phantoms working on the sideboard, coming off of it and blocked by Rybicki over to Bergeron. Bergeron to Reynolds. Reynolds puts it on net, and then it's deflected out of play. Brown comes on the ice. Brown, Kruger, Reynolds with 7:44 to go. Rybicki and Campbell at D. Still 1-0 Fury. Reynolds to take the face-off. Face-off pushed back by Brown, sent around by the Phantoms. Kruger avoids a hit. Loose puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds' shot goes wide and up to Rybicki. Rybicki, shot gets blocked. Brown picks it up. Gets it over to Campbell. Campbell up to Reynolds. Reynolds tries to chip it forward, but it's knocked back. Rybicki waiting. Paulo comes across. Campbell comes across. Campbell carries forward. Over to Paulo. Paulo. Pass gets deflected. Brown with a flyby. Gets back to cover. Puck makes it up top. Brown comes over, blocks that pass. It goes over to the side. Opportunity in front, deflected to the backboard. On the sideboard, Kruger gets a hold of it. Onak carries forward with Brown and Paulo. Onak shot attempt gets deflected. Brown goes for a change. Perdidio's on the ice. Chalicki comes on the ice. Paulo picks up. Drops over to Miller. Miller to Chalicki. Chalicki's got space. Chalicki gets taken down. Puck across the sideboard and up. Perdidio knocks the puck away. Brzgintis to Chalicki. Puck gets past Chalicki. Sent back down. Perdidio picks up and sends it to Miller. Miller back to Perdidio. Perdidio takes a look. Up off of the boards, looking for Paulo. Hits off of Phantom's stick. Miller over to Brzgintis. Brzgintis up the boards for Perdidio. Perdidio looks to send it back, but it gets taken away by the Phantoms. Phantom shot missing and hits the net. 5:37 to go in the game. Still 1-0 Fury. Phantoms with a flurry of activity and a near scoring attempt. Reynolds comes on the ice with Nietzsche and Letcher. Puck sent behind Dabrowski. Campbell working. Phantom send it back. Nietzsche ties up. Rubicki comes over to help. Puck underneath Nietzsche. Gets dug out. Picked up by Letcher. Sent across for Nietzsche. Nietzsche takes a look. Puts it in the middle. Knocked away by Phantoms. Over to the sideboard. Rubicki keeps that puck in. Toe drag and a shot. Puck's underneath. Ref really doesn't know where it is. It gets knocked behind him. And they're going to say hand pass. So they're saying Nietzsche hand pass. He's confused. Not sure that he did. .454 to go. Puck comes outside. Bergeron, Kushkowski, Pulauskas, Campbell, Rubicki. Kushkowski sends that over to Rubicki. Rubicki up and off of the boards. Campbell goes over to Rubicki. Kushkowski tips it into the zone. Phantoms come back the other direction. Phantoms on the near board. Centering attempt. Kushkowski had tied up the cutting man. Loose puck. We're not calling anything right now. Pulauskas gets tackled, and then we clear, and that'll be an icing. 4:19 to go. Kruger, Brown, and Reynolds come on the ice. Onak and Miller at D. 4:19 to go, 1-0 Fury. Reynolds comes in to take the faceoff. Faceoff one over to the corner. Miller sends it around for Brown. Brown has Kruger. Kruger knocking the puck around. Comes from behind the net. Sends it into neutral ice from Miller. Miller pins it on the boards. And then Phantoms take control. Brown comes over, back checks. Kruger knocks it away. Up to Reynolds. Knocked away from Reynolds and sent in by the Phantoms. Puck to the corner. Onak takes a hit. Miller sends it up the boards for Kruger. Knocked back down for Onak. Onak to the corner. Up to Brown. Puck gets pinned underneath Onak. Miller, Brown, and Onak working to get it out. It goes to Miller. Miller sends it around for Kruger. Kruger chips ahead. Kruger avoids a hit. He's got Brown with him. Kruger takes a shot. No rebound. Brown gets taken down. Phantoms weren't going to let anyone get back door. .316 to go. Paulo, Palauskas, and Chalicki on the ice. Puck sent around by the Phantoms over the near board and then through the middle of the ice. Prusgintis with that long stick knocks the puck. Puck up to Palauskas. Palauskas and Paulo with Chalicki is offsides. Just jumped a little bit ahead. Palauskas trying to get that pass to him on the backside. Chalicki doesn't think he was offsides. A little head shake from him. Puck one behind by Paulo. Knocked Chalicki to Campbell. Campbell sends it around. Chalicki to the corner. Phantoms pin it onto the boards. Paulo and Chalicki trying to dig it out. Prusgintis gets a shot on. It gets knocked into the corner. Palauskas sends it around. Chalicki is there. Chalicki in the corner. Sends it back for Palauskas. Palauskas trying to battle. Phantoms get it out and come up the sideboard. Cross ice pass, and that misses for an icing. .2:15 to go in the game. Timeout, Phantoms. We're going to send out Nietzsche, Letcher, Kushkowski. I expect that the Phantoms will pull their goalie at some point. Nietzsche sends that puck over to Letcher, back to Rybicki. Rybicki looking for Letcher. It goes down low for Nietzsche. Nietzsche to Kushkowski. Kushkowski in the corner. Gets pinned. Puck underneath. Nietzsche pins it underneath him. Kushkowski trying to help. 3 players for the Phantoms trying to dig it out. They do. They go behind the goaltender. And then up the far board. Letcher forcing a dump in. Rybicki picks it up. Rybicki sends it to the corner. Rybicki to Letcher. Phantoms were trying to change their goaltender out to get an extra skater on. Puck to neutral ice. Rybicki to Onak. Onak sends it forward. And that'll be an icing. Minute 20 to go. The Phantoms will put the 6th attacker on. Chalicki, Paulo, Reynolds, Miller, and Prisgintis on the ice.
All right, fans, let's go.
Face-off push to the corner. Prisgintis sends it hard around. Kept in by the Phantom. Phantom shot deflected in front, goes high off of the glass. In the corner, Phantom's working for position. They got a shot. Puck bounces off of the post and then in front of Dabrowski. And the Phantoms put the rebound in.
All right, dude, let's go.
So with 1:03 to go, it's 1-1. Nietzsche, Reynolds, Letcher on the ice.
All right, play smart. Let's go, Phantoms.
Face-off over to the sideboard. Letcher tries to get it moved forward. Puck goes over to Onak. Onak with space. Chips it in. Puck goes behind the net. Nietzsche comes over. Puck comes out of the zone. Campbell puts it ahead for Onak. Onak with space. It's a shot. Hits off of the shoulder of the goaltender and out of play. 29.5 seconds to go. Krzyzkowski, Paulo, and Polauskas coming on the ice. Same D. Onak and Campbell. Face-off underneath the official. Krzyzkowski sends it towards the goaltender. Phantoms pick it up. Over to the corner. Up off of the near board and then in. Onak comes over. Krzyzkowski picks it up underneath Onak's feet and sends it over to Campbell. Campbell, 8 seconds, carries forward. Puts it in front. 3 seconds to go. No rebound. Reynolds comes on the ice. Prisgintis comes on the ice. Paulo wins that back to Reynolds. It gets knocked away. And we'll go to overtime.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do. 4, 3 on 3. I don't know how to what they're gonna do. 5 on 5 at stake. Yeah, maybe they might be a full regular period. So
So state playoff game, overtime is 5-on-5.
All right, let's go, fans. Let's go. Big goal.
Kushkowski, Bergeron, Pulauskas come on the ice. Rybicki and Campbell. Pulauskas knocks it away and sends it forward. Kushkowski comes in. Puck knocked away. Turnover by Phantoms. Bergeron shot gets deflected. Campbell takes it away. Puck gets dumped in. Bergeron giving pressure. Up the sideboard, Pulauskas is there. Puck gets knocked loose and sent into neutral ice. Puck sent around. Onak working. Puck left in the corner. Knocked away by Rybicki. Pulauskas up to Kushkowski. Kushkowski sends it in. Kruger comes on the ice. Bergeron and Kushkowski trying to dig that puck out of the corner. Kushkowski gets a hold of it. Sends it to Miller. Back down for Bergeron. Bergeron sends it over for Onak. Onak to Kruger. Kruger shot. No rebound. And we got a whistle. 3:51 to go in OT. 1-1. Brown and Reynolds come out to join Kruger. Kruger sends that to the corner. Brown tries to work past Phantoms. Phantoms send it up the boards and in. 2 shot attempts on Dabrowski, and he knocks both away. 3:34 to go. We'll get a line change. Paulo, Carter, Chalicki on the ice. Miller and Onak will remain at D. Puck one back to Miller, sent off of the glass but kept in by the Phantoms. Puck over to Paulo and chipped to Chalicki. Chalicki sends it around for Carter. Puck gets knocked past Carter and then carried forward by the Phantoms. Puck dumped in off of the backboard. Gintis to Paulo. Paulo gives that to Carter. Miller changes. Campbell comes on. Puck over to the sideboard. Gintis gets there. Gets stuck in feet. Knocked away by Nietzsche. Carter does a nice job to stop that play. Puck over to Campbell. Campbell sends that up the sideboards. Glove down by Carter. Carter carries forward over to Chalicki. Back to Nietzsche. Nietzsche shot high off of the glass over to the near board. Puck knocked away by Campbell over to Nietzsche. Rybicki on the ice. Nietzsche coming up the near boards. Puck gets knocked away. Carter changes. Letcher comes on. Drop pass. One move made. Puck goes wide underneath of Dabrowski. Letcher knocks that puck, gets taken down. Phantoms go the other direction. Reynolds back on the ice. Shot high off of the boards and out. Regroup by the Phantoms. Letcher passes that pack to Reynolds. Reynolds' shot goes wide. Kushkowski puts a shot on, no rebound. Pulauskas. Kushkowski, Reynolds. A minute 42 to go in OT. Kushkowski sends that puck to the sideboard. Reynolds ties up. Phantom send it up into neutral ice, knocked away by Letcher. Kushkowski sends it back in. Quick escape by the Phantoms. They go up the near board and then cross ice pass all the way down. That'll be icing. Minute 19 to go. Pulauskas, Bergeron, Paulo come on the ice. Pulauskas digs that off. Backhand shot goes off the crossbar. Phantom's clear. They've got one man streaking. Miller knocks it away up to Onak. Onak moving up the sideboard. Puts it in front. Puck goes across for Paulo. Paulo takes a hit, but still the puck moves. Phantom send it into neutral ice. Bergeron takes a look over to Onak. Onak up to Pulauskas. Pulauskas sends it in. D changes. Przintis and Campbell come on the ice. Phantom send it in. Przintis around for Bergeron. Bergeron on the sideboard sends it across. Campbell sends it in. Paulo changes. Nietzsche comes on. Letcher comes on. Pulauskas changes. Reynolds comes on. 17 seconds. Puck gets knocked away. Nietzsche to Reynolds. 9 seconds. Reynolds tries to get a shot. Gets pushed off the puck. It goes on net and covered. 4.7 seconds to go in OT. Nietzsche takes the draw. Letcher offset. Reynolds up front. Puck gets cleared, and that'll do it. I don't recall, but I don't think a state game can end in a shootout. I think it keeps going OT. I don't think it can end in a shootout.
I don't think so. It shouldn't. I hope.
I'm pretty sure all the state games I recall, it's continuous.
5-minute period.
Yeah, because we've run into trouble with that with time. I don't think it does. Yeah. I didn't look at the rules this year, though. Yep. All right. So we're going to 4-on-4 OT for the second OT. Nietzsche, Przintis, Letcher, Miller. Nietzsche sends that to Przintis. Przintis to Letcher. Letcher gets an opportunity, gets taken down. Phantoms pick up the puck and carry forward. Trying to get past Nietzsche. Pass across. One-time attempt goes wide. Przintis to Miller, up to Letcher. Letcher gets some room, gets it over to Miller. Miller carries forward to Letcher. Letcher dumps it in. Nietzsche changes. Kahlo comes on. Miller changes. Rubicki comes on. Phantom, send it down. Pass misses and goes all the way down. Letcher changes and Reynolds comes on. Puck behind the goaltender. Phantoms come out. Paulo pushing wide. Shot in the middle. Save Dabrowski over to Campbell. Campbell carries forward. Kushkowski comes on the ice with Onak. Reynolds sends that to Campbell. Campbell sends the puck up to Onak. Onak carries the puck down. Onak with a space. 5-hole. Well, with 3:10 to go in OT2, Onak with the game winner. A good effort, taking it to 2 OTs. Play again tomorrow in Chicago against the Mission. That game time is 12:30. But we'll see you all tomorrow.